Good morning and welcome to another episode of the Fantasy Debate with Sam and Tate. I am Sam Holt, joined as always by Derek Tate, and we are brought to you by Fantasy Focused and the Original Hooters. Today we have a special guest. We've got Matt Bucks on with us. Very happy to have you on.
I'm really happy to be here, Sam. Thank you for having me.
We have quite a fun day ahead of us because I think all of us are a little bit, I don't want to say cabin fever, but we've been trapped at home for a long time now. So the goal for today's episode is to have a lot of fun and to have a few laughs. And as Bucks has said off air, he plans on me laughing so hard that I pee my pants. So we'll see how today goes.
Correct.
Yes,
Correct. That is the end goal.
Yes. And please, guys, jump in the comments if you want to, be a part of the debate that we have lined up, which is a good one. And I will get to that one next. But if you have any comments, please jump in. We'll throw them up and we will completely talk about everything you guys are throwing in the chat. So, Derek, how are you doing? Hanging in there with that hang time hair.
Oh, I'm just trying to get my hair out of frame to where my eyes are still level with the camera. So I'm working on that goal. Almost there.
You're looking like Michael Jordan from the free throw line right now. Hanging.
Tongue out, the whole 9 yards.
My goodness. Thanks for joining us, guys. Dried Ocean joining us when saying sup, dudes and gal. What up, Dried Ocean? Thanks for joining us. Tyler joining us as always. I tune in and hear pee my pants. Booming start. Yeah, thank you. We're off to a wonderful start already this morning. And Corey Ashburn joining in with Hermione Granger for the win, which will lead us into.
For the record, I already peed my pants this morning, Tyler. So you don't need to get all frisky.
Too good. We will cover a little bit of football news as there was a trade that happened this week. But then our big debate for the day is we are building our squad to take into battle. And if you saw on Twitter and you saw on our Instagram, we have 5 very distinct categories that you are allowed to pull your soldiers from. First category is MCU, DC Universe, cartoon video game, Magic Elemental, and the last one being your mortal. So please send us your lineups in the comments now. We will talk about them. But before we run into that, let's just get this football news out of the way so we can have some fun. Brandin Cooks went to the Texans this week. And I think that there's been a lot of back and forth about, if this is actually a good fantasy move for some of our dynasty owners, or if this is just all smoke and mirrors. How do you guys feel about this move? Just for Brandin Cooks first, and then we'll go into the team athletic.
Well, you got to look at the fact that do you feel that this fills a void for the Houston Texans? The answer is yes. They kind of need a go-to number one wide receiver, although I've never really thought Brandin Cooks is a true number one, more of a hybrid, like 1B. He's more suited for like a complimentary home run type hitter role. But you take a look at his PPR production over the years, he's been mostly a top 20 option at the wide receiver position. So last year was a complete disaster though for Brandin Cooks, and
dumpster fire is a good word.
Yeah, that's another word that works.
Yeah.
Bucky, if you've got another word for disaster to throw in there, go ahead.
Calamity.
There we go. But this is now going to be the 4th team in Brandin Cooks' 7-year NFL career. And I don't know what kind of good karma this dude has, because he keeps getting traded to teams that have a superstar quarterback. I mean, minus Jared Goff, but he's also played for Tom Brady and Drew Brees. Just number 1 and number 2 in all-time leading passer ranks. I mean, my goodness. Now he gets to go.
Good QB, though. He's a good QB, not great.
Yeah.
Right. But now Deshaun Watson, who's probably one of the better young superstars under center in the National Football League. Mm-hmm. So he does give Watson a go-to wide receiver. I still think he's going to finish somewhere in the top 20. I do think it helps his fantasy value because he seemed to fall out of favor there in Los Angeles last season. But the Rams ate a lot of dead money. This is the second time this offseason they've traded a focal point of their offense and eaten a ton of dead money. The first being Todd Gurley and now Brandin Cooks. They just signed Cooks to like a 5-year extension when they traded for him 2 seasons ago. A lot of head-scratching shit going on there for the Los Angeles Rams, but it does help Cooks' fantasy value, and I think it gives Deshaun Watson a slight bump as well.
It's still a cluster mess there as far as the wide receiver position in Houston. Mm-hmm. I mean, anything else really too. but Deshaun is going to get his, and I think Cooks is actually a really good fit for a guy like Deshaun. Cooks has always been one of those guys when there is those scramble plays, he's always coming back to the ball. Him and Bob Woods are some of the best in the game at just like finding space when things don't go like the way that they anticipated at the start. So I look for him to actually have a good year there with Deshaun Watson. The puzzling thing, Tate, is what is the Rams' plan? What is it?
I mean, you're asking. I don't have an answer. I'm quiet right now because you've offloaded Todd Gurley, which leaves you with what, Malcolm Brown, Darrell Henderson to battle it out for lead dog duties. I mean, right now I think it's a running back by committee with Malcolm Brown doing a lot of early down work and hopefully Henderson slotting in as kind of the pass catching specialist. But now you get Brandin Cooks out of the way. I think it helped. I mean, we already knew Cooper Kupp was going to be a top 15.
He's the man.
He is the man. Yeah, right. I love Cooper Kupp. But Bob Woods, I think this definitely shoots him back up there as well. He was already a high volume PPR guy. I feel like it solidifies his role and workload. I think it gives Josh Reynolds a nice sleeper value at the end of fantasy drafts.
I was going to say Josh Reynolds, I think, takes a few ticks up the draft board for me. He showed a lot of potential last season.
But you talk about guys that showed a lot of potential last year. And towards the end of the year, my boy from Eastlake High School, shout out, Tyler Higbee. And Higbee actually finished the season as a top 10 fantasy tight end, just basically on 5 games worth of production. I mean, we talk about the fantasy landscape for tight ends. It's either you get Kelsey or Kittle or you wait and you take a late round stab. I think with the trade of Brandin Cooks, we see a third option is going to emerge, and he already emerged last season with kind of Brandin Cooks falling out of favor anyway. Yep. Averaging what? It's right there on the screen. 8 receptions and 104 yards over the last 5 games. 2 of those games were against Arizona, who couldn't cover tight ends all season long, but Higbee still emerged as the pass catcher I always knew he was coming out of Western Kentucky.
Well, he was a wide receiver. I mean, this is a guy who transitioned his body to be a tight end, and he gets after it blocking now too. I mean, the guy has the full skill set. There's no doubt about that. All bias aside, it's time for him to shine, and really this opens it up for him right now.
I mean, they've also gone ahead and paid him. So, like, paid him in a way that it's like you are going to be the guy, and you're going to be the guy for a little bit.
I don't want to hear anything about Gerald Everett either, because I got into a Twitter spat.
You get into spats.
A couple folks that were
let people get under your skin.
Well, I don't. Hold on. First off, I get emotional when it comes to Higgs. Higbee is the one guy that gets a ton of emotion out of me. Because I saw him grow up. I announced his high school football games. He's even a friend of the family. Him and my little brother are very close. So it's something where he does sit near and dear to my heart. And when I see people go into the comments and going, Everett's better than Higbee anyway. First off, that's just false. I mean, Higbee is a much better football player. Everett's the better athlete. But, dude, when you try to make some sort of blanket statement like that against my boy Higgs, you're going to see the worst of Tater come out.
There's going to be no hesitation.
Woo, yeah.
On you losing it when people try and go after your Tyler Higbee. I mean, I know for myself in a couple of dynasty drafts, I've targeted him maybe a little sooner than I should have, but I feel like he's got a lot of potential. And again, I agree. I mean, a couple of years back, I wrote a few articles about him where I thought, he had a lot of potential for these big plays, and it was just a slow coming. And now this last season, the way that he played, it's all, guns a-blazing. We're ready to go. It's Higbee time.
Well, the progression of his career reminds me of Hooper.
Yeah, right? I can see that.
And you saw Hooper transition last year into one of the top tight ends. Mm-hmm. I think Higbee is on the exact same trajectory, and it makes sense. And, the guy he's just a sound football player. Tate, I think you hit the nail on the head there when you said Everett might be the better athlete, the more freakish talent, but Higbee is a ball player. And ball players get on the football field. Point blank, period, end of story. So I don't think it's a threat whatsoever. I can't believe someone actually battled you on Twitter over Gerald Everett or Tyler Higbee.
Well, they were trying to say that Everett got off to the better start. And sure. Everett was out playing Higbee to start the year. And yeah, Everett was involved and had some nice games. But even when Everett was getting a significant amount of snaps, he wasn't producing on the level of Tyler Higbee did at the last 5 games.
Yeah.
Once Everett went down via injury, Higbee made the most of his opportunity and ran away with the job. It's not even close. And not to mention, you mentioned that he's a better football player. How many times will you watch a Fox broadcast with Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, and Aikman's calling out Higbee on blocking assignments time and time and time again? Higbee, keep in mind, you mentioned it before. In high school, he was a 180 pounds soaking wet at 6'5", and he put on 70 pounds of muscle. And he became a legit blocker at the tight end position in the National Football League, but we always knew he had the receiving chops. And he finally got that opportunity and ran away with it last year. I actually have I have Higbee now without Cooks in town. I actually have Higbee as my number 5 tight end for fantasy purposes.
Wow.
For 2020. Yeah, I mean, I'm calling my shot. I saw enough last year.
So who do you have? You have Kelsey, you have Kittle, you have Hooper, you have Mark Andrews, and then Higbee?
I actually don't have Mark Andrews. No. Hooper. I don't have Hooper at number 5. I don't have Hooper in my top 5. I think it hurts that he actually went to Cleveland.
It hurts anyone.
I've got Mark Andrews at 3. I've got Zach Ertz, even though Ertz had a little bit of a down year, but he was also dinged up quite a bit. Yeah. So I have him at 4 and then Higbee at 5.
Okay. No, that totally makes sense. Like for me, though, Hooper is still really, really talented.
Oh, yeah. No, 100%.
I just feel like he's a pure tight end that will still have a role. Top 5 is probably pushing it. You're right.
It's close. He's right there on the fringe. I'm just going to go ahead and say, though, Higbee haters are not welcome here at Fantasy Focus. Take that shit somewhere else.
No, you're welcome.
Check yourself at the door.
Just make sure that you're adding Dictator 4, not Fantasy Focus when you do these things. I want him to get fired up.
We all love it when Tate gets fired up. Now, let's go ahead and take that fire and go into the real debate of the day. That we've all been thinking about this. We've been stewing. I mean, I went back and forth on mine. I changed a couple things, and then I made my lineup, and I'm pretty happy with it. So let's go by category down our list for our squad of warriors to take into battle.
I'm excited. Squad up, baby.
All right, so let's break it down for the people here, Sam.
Yeah.
Each category, you get one person.
Each category, you get one. And again, I'll go down the list again of who you're allowed in your list. So the first category is Marvel Cinematic Universe. So Marvel MCU, that is your one. Now, you could pick a mortal from the MCU, but they can't be put into your mortal category. Guys, this is a little disclaimer. It's about to get real nerdy up in here. Real nerdy. So I hope that you guys still like us after all this. But anyways, so yeah, category 1, Marvel Cinematic Universe. And again, if you wanted to use a mortal, you can't use them in your mortal slot because they're in that universe. So next category is DC. So DC Universe. All encompassing, same rules apply. Next category is cartoon/video game. Now, this is very broad, but obviously this is an animated character. Then the fourth category is magic/elemental. Now, again, this goes through everything. So it can be movie, it can be TV, it can be anything. Anything that is of the magic, otherworldly. That's why we use the word elemental type category. Final category is mortal. And again, we're pulling from movies, TV. I guess you could pull from books if you really wanted to, but it has to be a mortal character. So I went with a little bit of a theme on mine because I like themes. But I'll kick it off with mine for the MCU universe, and I picked Captain Marvel as my first warrior into battle. I believe she is a cheat code in the Marvel universe. I mean, you see it time and again in different parts of battles. When you see her fight in the movies, I mean, they turn around and they say, "Where's she been?" Because she just takes down whole destroyer crafts of spaceships and all this stuff. So I feel like she's my cheat code when I'm going into battle and I've got legions ahead of me. I send her ahead to knock out, the cavalry behind what's already in front of me. So that's how I thought for her and my role of my squad. Tate, who's on your squad?
So
or if you hate my pick, please tell me if you hate my pick.
Well, I'm not going to talk shit about your team until it's all said and done.
Oh, okay, cool.
I mean, it's kind of hard to argue with Captain Marvel, who's insanely OP in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But
she's way too powerful.
Too powerful? How dare you?
I would have said if it was a he would be way too powerful. It's just kind of like a joke.
No, I know, but like I think you could say the same thing about someone like Superman, which we'll get to DC next. But like,
but how could you ever settle down with Captain Marvel? Right?
What do you mean settle down?
Like settle down. Like if I were to court her and go on a date, we go to Hooters, we'd sit down.
Dude, she's got one of the best personalities of all of them. She's so competitive. You could like go to the bar and then play bar games, and she'd want to like beat the shit out of you at every game. It'd be so fun.
Sam, you see here the problem. Well, the problem where it lies is simply I will piss her off inevitably.
And then she'll kill you.
Yeah, and it's just like endless power as far as her ability to just eviscerate me from the face of the earth. So I'd rather like stay away from all powers. You'll see. All
right. Well, Victor James is throwing in his pick for the MCU is Spider-Man all day. Love it, Victor. Good pick. Tate, who's your pick from Marvel?
Look, I love me some Spidey, and it was kind of there's so many great characters. I can make a case for about 10 of them, but I'm going to go ahead and go. I want to, if we're going in a battle, I need a character that you can't kill.
Yeah.
And that's Deadpool. You can't kill Deadpool. He's the regenerating degenerate. Like you can literally blow him into pieces and he regenerates. I mean, granted, it may take a little bit of a while with the little creepy hand, something, reminiscent of Scary Movie 2, but look.
Strong hand.
Grab my strong hand. But no, I mean, and not to mention Ryan Reynolds is pretty attractive. I mean, he's kind of like he's my lead guy. He's not a bad lead guy. Not a bad.
This is how you went. I went with the cheat code that is Captain Marvel, and you're like, Ryan Reynolds is so dreamy. We both went different ways, and I'm sure the listeners didn't see that coming.
I admit I'm jealous of Ryan Reynolds. Most men would admit that if they're
Tyler likes your pick though.
I'm not. I'll be honest. I'm not. I'm not jealous of Ryan Reynolds nor Deadpool.
I mean, okay, Deadpool, I do like Deadpool. I like the comic relief he brings to your team. I like that, he could maybe keep spirits high just with jokes, but when it comes to battle,
he's an assassin.
He's an assassin of one. He's a good one-on-one person, but if you go into battle, you're not just battling a single person. You're battling a legion of people.
Well, technically, it's 5 or 6-on-6, all of us included. I factored myself into my squad.
Sure, so, yeah. I mean, but
like that's how I tailored it. Is that I would be the Banshee running wild at that point. So, along the same lines, I want my clubhouse to be like full of jokes and everybody feeling very chill and at ease, preparing for battle. So I went with Korg. Korg is my pick. He's the best character in any Marvel movie that's ever been made. He keeps you laughing the entire time. Taika Waititi doing his thing as Korg. And he's made of rock. Like, you can't penetrate rock. So he's a rock being that is absolutely hilarious. New Zealand accent. Korg is going to keep my troops so light and loose and fancy free that I feel like y'all's teams are going to be way too tense. Captain Marvel, what is she doing? She is too fiery. She is. She gets so riled up, gets all the people frantic. Not good. Tate, your pick, Deadpool, his jokes don't hit like Korg's jokes. Let's all admit it. They don't. So my jokes are better than your jokes. I feel like Korg takes the cake here.
I thought Mig was dead.
Yeah, Korg is just too good. I remember when he was introduced in Thor Ragnarok, I was just like, wow, how did it take them 11 years to get to Korg? It did. I was like, this is a perfect Marvel character. He's so good. Korg is my guy because he's number one. I think he's just a big guy who's going to be able to deflect people quite a bit. And I don't think you can penetrate rock. And he's funny as hell. That's my guy.
Yeah, I definitely think my pick is going to blow both of yours out of the water. If they had to line them up, dude, you wouldn't even need two hands. Captain Marvel would just literally go like this and just blast through both of your people. But I like Kyle's pick here.
I feel like Korg would probably like woo Captain Marvel on a battlefield. He would woo her, even in a battle situation. This is the face she'd make. What's that?
This is the face. This is the face she'd make. No.
Yeah, but then, of course, deep down, she would just say, this is the type of guy you settle down with, get a white picket fence, and all of a sudden she's neutralized. Sam, what are you going to do then?
Yeah, not so much. But I like Kyle Washnock's pick here of Black Panther. I think that's an awesome pick too.
Wakanda forever.
Wakanda forever. Love it. And Tyler wants to pick you, Bucks, for his team. So you can pick Tyler. You can pick him for your.
No, I'm in. Tyler, yeah, I'll fight with you, man. We'll be good to go.
Will Jenkins with a good one here with Jean Grey.
Yeah, I can see Jean Grey. She was on my short list.
She's crazy strong. I mean,
crazy strong. But
talk about OP.
Crazy. Then goes
crazy strong. I mean, I love the fact that Tyler drafted Buck, who's the only thing he's armed with is ham steak. Heading into battle armed with ham steak.
And Miller Lite, how dare you?
Yeah, tons of these.
Dried Ocean, Thanos count, or does it have to be a hero?
It does not have to be a hero.
Everybody.
Thanos.
You can pick
but
Thanos.
See, the problem with Thanos is he killed his children. You can't be killing children, you know? You can't do that, Dried Ocean.
Well,
we need to keep this at least humble and, you know, respectful of family structure, and that's what I'm trying to do. So
I also think that Thanos is nothing without the stones, and really all he has is, you know, the fear of like leading legions. So I don't know that I feel like in one-on-one without the glove, all of our characters could probably take Thanos.
Oh, Korg would crush him.
Yeah, Korg would absolutely crush Thanos in a one-on-one. At least in, you know, like a thumb war. 100%. 100%.
We're just on a man-to-man combat.
Or man-to-man combat. Okay, let's go to the next category. We've got DC. Now, I think my theme is going to be pretty clear very quickly. I went with Wonder Woman, who I also believe is quite the cheat code of characters in the DC universe. And just a strong leader. So, you know, of the team, I think that between her and Captain Marvel, they would both maybe try to compete a little bit for like who is going to be like the main one calling the shots, and then they'd realize I was calling the shots and they'd be okay with it because they're team players ultimately, that's why I like both of them. So I had to go with Wonder Woman. You can't really argue against Wonder Woman. She's got so much going for her. Yeah, she's fantastic.
I love Wonder Woman. Gal Gadot rules too.
Gal Gadot is amazing. I wish she would adopt me.
Sometimes I have issues with Gal Gadot. Sam. Sometimes I have issue with Gal Gadot's acting, but I mean,
how dare you?
Kal-El, no. Like I just come on. If you've seen Justice League, you know what the hell I'm talking about. That one
Justice
scene
League was a dumpster fire of a film.
I didn't see the dumpster fire on purpose, but I'm very excited for Wonder Woman 1984 to come out. That shit is going to be amazing.
Agreed. I hate the fact that Justice League happened.
Yeah.
They really screwed the pooch.
They killed Affleck's Batman. They killed everything, man. Or excuse me, not Affleck. Yeah, Affleck's Batman.
Yeah, Affleck is Batman. Yeah, Tyler agreeing with us. Justice League was trash. Yeah, we all agree.
So bad.
I thought Batman v Superman was rough, and Justice League was a bigger train wreck than that.
I kind of like BVS.
Yeah. Too much going on, man. Too much going on. I mean,
and Superman was so evil.
Done without Doomsday. Like, they just threw him in at the end, and the way they even conjured up that character was complete horse shit. Sorry, I'm going full nerd cap. My bad.
You can go for it.
Go for it. This was the show for us to go full nerd.
This is the platform, Tater.
Absolutely.
All right. So how do you? Doomsday in the comics though was created in Krypton. I mean, and he was sent out to go basically become indestructible, and yet all they did in the DCU was just drop Zod's body into whatever spaceship that I don't know. Yes, I am nerdy. That is correct. Peanut Gallery chiming in over here, but it's just complete horseshit. I mean, the way they did Doomsday and even the special effects was just god awful. I mean, and how they killed Superman in that movie, like you really couldn't have thrown the kryptonite spear.
But Superman went nuts.
Into him. I mean, Jesus.
Let's admit, Superman went pure evil in that movie.
Well, I mean, of course, because they have incompetent writing. So, speaking of which,
Dried Ocean is right there with you. Let it all out, Tater. Let it all out.
Oh shit! They ruined it.
I agree. They killed, like, Affleck's Batman was not bad. That movie
I loved his
just killed it. That movie just killed it.
I mean, they killed Ben Affleck's Bruce Wayne, and it's unfortunate because I think he was the best thing about Batman v Superman. I thought his Bruce Wayne was fantastic. the whole Martha.
I like Batman v
Oh
Superman.
my God.
I really did like Batman v Superman. It just got weird.
Oh, come on, dude. Batman v Superman. Batman doesn't kill Superman because their mother's names are Martha. For God's sake. Really?
I would never kill a Karen. My mom's name is Karen, so I resonate with that one.
There you go. Wait, so did we get to what your DC character was?
No, I had to sound off because I don't even want to use DCU version of Superman, who is my pick for DC. Look, you need someone to lead the team, and he leads the Justice League. Who is better suited than the living embodiment of truth, justice, in the American way than the last son of Krypton, Superman? I mean, we don't have enough time to be able to go through all of his powers.
No, Superman's fine. Yeah.
Superman's fine. He's a fine
pick. Yeah, I would say of the DC universe, he's like top 3.
Top 3?
Wonder Woman number 1.
He's the original. Oh, that's complete shit.
I would say Wonder Woman would kick the hell out of Superman's.
You've lost your mind. In what universe?
Thank you. In the DC universe.
DCU.
Nothing makes sense. Possibly, yes. God. All right, fine. Superman's my choice. Bucky, go.
All right, so this is going to be a controversial pick, but you got to understand this is more diligence on my part. Alfred Pennyworth is going to be my pick here. I need a general that's going to make sure that he understands the lay of the battlescape, everything that's going on around him. He's organized. He's efficient. He'll be there. He will get me beer if I need beer. I might need beer out there. Like, Alfred will be so perfect in this role where he is just on point the entire time, making sure that all battle stations are fully equipped. He's got the latest intel. He's got satellite drones, everything he needs. Alfred Pennyworth, the greatest butler of all time. He's going to be on the front lines with Buck. He'll be my battle butler, and we're just going to go from there with Alfred.
I can't.
Nothing like Bucks phoning in a pick from the battlefield. Hey, Alfred, I need a 12-pack of Miller Lite stat and a side of ham steak.
No, Dried Ocean just summed it up. He said, smart pick. I will be so organized with Alfred at the helm. It's true. I've thought about this. Like, this wasn't just thrown together. Alfred is going to be so essential to my inevitable victory here. And as we go, it just keeps building, folks. These picks are going to get better and better as we go on. But Alfred he's the point guard of this team. He's Nick Van Exel.
Oh my God. I love the Nick Van Exel call. Tyler disagreeing. Bad takes from Sam and Buck here. Superman is greater than Wonder Woman, and I love her very much. It's okay, Tyler. It's okay that you're wrong here.
I think Alfred takes the cake there. I'll let the listeners respond.
I just spit up my White Claw on my fiance.
That's not nice. Why'd you do that?
Her immediate response was, "Isn't that the butler?"
You're damn right, it's the butler, and he's the best in the biz. Going to keep me organized, coordinated, and all out attack.
I have to say that one of my favorite things about the DC universe was Michael Caine's version of Alfred Pennyworth, because Michael Caine, it's Michael Caine. He's just so clutch. Like,
he's the best, the GOAT, some might say.
He's my favorite Alfred.
Dried Ocean liking your great value pick there.
I would say it's value. There was a lot of great prospects on the board at this point, but I opted for Alfred based on just his intellectual nature and pure organizational skills. So I'm going to keep going.
We're going to post our picks in pictures and then have the people vote on who has the best lineup. Post that after this.
I do want to add, though, in one set of comics, Alfred, I believe, was wearing like a red kryptonite ring or something and actually knocked the shit out of Superman. Like, legit beat him up. It was great.
That's not surprising at all. That's what he does. That's why I have him on he is the last line of defense, but if it gets there, yeah.
He's your eye in the sky. I get it. He's your eye in the sky. He's your puppet master. I get it. I can. Formidable pick, Bucks. Formidable pick. So
not Princess Diana of Themyscira or the last son of Krypton. Alfred Pennyworth, the butler. Fantastic, man.
Okay, so all right, so the next category is cartoon/video game. Now, I did have to do a little bit of research because I don't play a ton of video games growing up. I did play Smash Brothers, and there was a character I always picked. I didn't know much about him, but apparently Samus Aran is a girl character, so I picked her.
She's a lady from Metroid, yeah.
So I picked her because there was a lot of times that, I mean, my name is Sam, so I would always pick that character because I was like, it's like Sam. So I always picked that character, and I loved using that character growing up. So, boom, I'm going with Samus. Clutch, I'm thinking Smash Brothers. I just love the blasters, the flying, get me more flying people. All of my people can jump around and fly. Love it.
I like the Samus pick. She's tough.
Bounty hunter. One of the best bounty hunters in the galaxy.
Some call her the GOAT.
There you go. So I feel like that's a solid Clutch pick. And if you can't tell by my picks, my squad is an all-woman squad because woman power.
Oh, I have a lady that's going to be coming in Clutch here soon, Sam. So don't you fret.
I cannot wait for what that is.
That's a nice built-in tease. Well played, Buck. Build the suspense.
That's on the magic side.
Okay, I was going to say it's going to be Jigglypuff or something random. Cartoon.
So while I continue my team of OP characters. Look, if we're going anime, you're talking cartoon or video game. I thought about Kratos, the god of war, but I'm going Son Goku. I'm going Goku.
Okay.
Ha.
Sure.
That's all I got to say.
Is it Super Saiyan Goku though?
Isn't that his new base form? I don't know how Dragon
It's not his
Dragon Ball Z is weird.
Yeah.
But Son Goku is a badass.
No, I mean, he can definitely get some Dragon Balls flowing at a rapid pace. When I think about this particular pick here, I like to think my team is going to be hungry because Alfred is clearly getting pizzas going. So, but at the same time, you want to keep your soldiers hungry enough to where they have a thirst for blood. So I went with Kirby. Kirby is going to eat the hell out of every single one of your characters. He's amorphous. He can eat and consume any enemy. So I figure you put Kirby on the front lines, he is just going to suck up whatever you have. And there it goes. It's gone. So Wonder Woman, gone. Captain Marvel, sucked into Kirby. Everybody is getting sucked right into Kirby. Kirby is the pick. It is the MVP of this entire draft, in my opinion. Y'all can't contest with Kirby. Like Kirby, he's going to win this battle 9 out of 10 times. All over. Just recycle, repeat, rinse. Kirby. Best pick of my draft.
I hate to admit that Bucks made a hell of a pick here, but
that's a great pick.
If you look at Kirby's actual skill set and powers, it's out of this world. OP.
What is OP? You keep saying OP.
Overpowered.
Oh, overpowered. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for asking. I was like, I don't want to be the one that asks. I don't know what this means.
You guys need to get up on the nerd jargon, man. Come on. I mean, OP is overpowered. I mean, on Reddit, it stands for original post. So, I mean, OP has different meanings across different forums. But in this discussion, OP is overpowered. But no,
I think Kirby
I love the pick, dude. I love the pick of Kirby.
Kirby's a great pick, but a lot of people thought you were going to pick something else. Dread Ocean thought you were going to pick SpongeBob.
No, most certainly not. He makes a good crab burger, though.
Will Jenkins thought Captain Planet.
Never good. A Captain Planet guy.
So good. John Miller saying, take it way back, but how about the frog on Frogger? You can dodge a car, you can dodge a linebacker.
Be honest, that frog has resilience.
If we went with football-specific skill positions next time for this, I think Frogger might, sneak in there.
Frogger
I think
he'd be strong safety.
Oh, I like that. I was thinking, like the running back that just, takes it from the one, completes the touchdown, just that solid move, last play. Tyler thought Ninja Turtles. I think that's a great pick too.
You gotta pick one though, and that's
the problem.
Yeah. So if you had to pick one of the Ninja Turtles, which one would you pick?
Donatello.
I love how you guys had such quick picks.
Leonardo. I go for the brains.
Leonardo leads. Donatello's the brains.
Yep.
Yeah, I like the fire that Raphael has.
I feel like I'm out scheming y'all 10-1 right now.
Or you could just go with the rat Splinter. So
jumping this in there, Kirby's training will be eating ham steaks 7 days a week.
Yes, Fredley, you're absolutely right. I've been feeding him ham steaks every single day.
Do you keep Kirby at home as a pet? Is he just
Don't
in the
worry
bathroom?
about it, Sam. Don't worry about it.
What you do on your time. I get it.
Don't worry about caged video game animals I have here.
So many. Okay, wait. So I'm writing down these picks for later. Tay had Goku. You had Kirby, which I really like that pick. I was thinking about Kirby earlier, but then I went all female with my cast.
It's a smart pick because he's ever powerful.
I think it's quite, yeah. I mean, I remember playing Smash Brothers and having Samus and going up against Kirby, and it was a tough battle.
You better believe it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's unassuming too, which is the story of my life.
Is that the title of your autobiography? Unassuming?
Yeah, unassuming. Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Okay. So the next category is magic / elemental. And again, this goes across TV and film and all those scapes. Now for me, one of the guys commented on Twitter, and I'm kind of bummed that I didn't throw her in my lineup. I really love the pick of Hermione Granger. Who had it? Someone comment and remind me that who picked Hermione for this category, because I love that pick. She's the smartest of the wizards in that group, and she's a really brilliant witch. But I had to go with Daenerys Targaryen because she's the leader of. I don't watch Game of Thrones, but I just know what she does with dragons, and I want dragons.
She doesn't get the dragons in this.
I mean, you're basically just bringing Daenerys Targaryen out onto a battlefield without Drogon, so she's screwed. That's a terrible pick.
You can't have dragons.
Why not?
The only thing you can't do is burn her alive, but knives kill her pretty good.
Well, I picked her, so she was my pick. I don't want that show.
I feel like this is a misstep.
Sounded like a strong. Hey, maybe it was my first misstep in an amazing cast. Otherwise,
isn't she the only one of our picks so far that's dead?
I don't know.
I think she's getting ousted pretty quick.
Yeah, she gets killed again. Double down dead.
Oh yeah, Corey Ashburn was the one that pulled up Hermione. Thank you, Corey. I love the pick for Hermione. If I had to swap out people, I might swap Daenerys for Hermione.
She's so spunky and full of life.
Yes, love it.
Who's the gal from Kill Bill?
Uma Thurman?
Yeah, I thought about Uma Thurman for human.
For human, yeah. Well, we're not at human yet. We're
not at human yet. We're not at human yet.
Magic Elemental. Kyle Washnock throwing in Avatar on this one. Victor J's throwing in Gandalf. I thought about Gandalf. I almost put Dumbledore in, and then I changed the direction of my team. God. Okay, Corey, I'm putting Hermione in my lineup. I'm changing it. Thank you.
You can't do that.
I can do that.
No, you can do that.
I can do that. That's allowed. That's allowed.
You should do that, to be honest. Daenerys, she offers nothing without those dragons.
Putting Hermione in there.
I wanted to
She was a shell.
She deserved it. Bitch.
Okay. Jeez. Calm down. Pump the brakes.
My turn.
Yeah, your turn.
Is the floor mine? The floor is mine? All right.
The floor is yours.
So I forget who brought it up in the comments. Someone brought up Captain Planet.
Yeah.
With Captain Planet, we talk about elemental. I mean, he's got earth, wind, fire, water, and I forget the fifth element that wind.
But isn't he a cartoon?
That is a cartoon, but it's still an elemental character.
Yeah, but you can't put him in this category. He's a cartoon.
I agree with Sam.
It doesn't matter.
You're going to have to change your pick.
It's not my pick. That's not my pick. I said that somebody brought it up in the comment because I thought that's who I consider for elemental because he literally represents all 5 elements of the earth.
But he's a cartoon.
All right, calm down. Darth Vader.
I love
Vader
it.
is my pick.
We had to go up with a Star Wars pick. John Miller throwing in Yoda.
We got to get somebody in there. Look, I find your lack of faith in this pick disturbing.
Wait.
Simply because I mean,
I don't have lack of faith in this pick. This is a great pick. I knew we had to get Star Wars.
Vader
I like
makes
this pick.
sense.
Yeah, Vader's a great pick.
And he's still, I mean, we talk about, I don't know if we're classifying anybody as villains or heroes, but Darth Vader was redeemed. He only killed a Sith Lord in Palpatine. So
and a bunch of kids, but no big deal.
I mean, yeah, he did kill. Yeah, I mean that.
And a planet.
Let's overlook some of that. Let's
Alderaan is
rest
dead,
on
Derek.
On his morals. If I could force choke you right now, I would. But I can't.
Alderaan is dead, Derek. That's gonna ring in my head all day.
Be careful not to choke on your ambition, Ambassador. All right. Anyway, that's my pick, Darth Vader.
All right, so we're in magic / elemental. I really had to scrape my brain for the best versions of this. And I'll be honest, I landed on an individual who is so powerful. She can do so much with magic. It is mind-blowing. The pick is Matilda. And Matilda will go out there and she will take every weapon that's on the battlefield and make it aerial and then directed at both of y'all's squads and just pierce your throats because she's that brutal. You know, such a hard upbringing. Danny DeVito just chewing her out, the weird French lady that just didn't make any sense in that movie. She has so much built up angst and anger that she will unleash fury on you by levitating objects and throwing them directly at you. That's what Matilda does. She's one of the best magicians in the game. That's it. I mean, Matilda, I think, is the better pick of both of y'all. So once again, I think my squad stands supreme. I really do.
So she withstood the tyranny of Miss Trumbolt, who damn near killed a poor adolescent obese kid, making him eat an entire cake of chocolate in front of him.
How messed up was that? And she overcame it, Derek. She overcame that. Think about all this built up animosity she has in her. She is prepared and ripe for a battlefield, Matilda.
Not to mention, I mean, the fact that there was that tie-in with Miss Trumbolt and her relationship with Matilda's teacher, Miss Honey, which is, I mean, I feel like though she needs a source of anger to be able to generate her power, which is similar to that of Darth Vader, which a lot of his power stems from hatred and suffering.
Exactly.
Buck is fire, dude. Buck's team is fire.
Yeah, I know it is. When you really boil it down, I just feel like my team is well crafted.
He can hit you in so many ways.
Okay, wait. Who was your pick, Tate?
Mine was Darth Vader. Darth Vader.
My next pick has many parallels to this last pick.
I can't believe I'm writing these down.
Keep it together, Sam. Keep it together.
When you look at it like, you know, one-on-one, I guarantee you mine is like makes so much more sense than y'all's. I agree, Tyler. The arc of her character is simply astronomical.
Great story writing.
And you think, you know, she comes out of the film all happy and giddy, but all that still lives within her. That is deep dragon fire. Sans dragons.
Okay.
Only
Sans dragons that are not allowed in.
And not to mention,
I didn't realize I wasn't allowed my dragons.
Not to fail to mention that she can actually feed my squad as they're fighting.
Why do people need to eat while
she's using force powers to like show up?
Because you know the scene where she's eating the cereal when she realizes her powers deep down? She's going to be feeding cereal all day to my guys. They're going to be so fired up and full of nutrients. We're doing Cheerios, plain, the whole thing.
Okay. Other people's picks from the comments. John Miller, how about Lone Star from Spaceballs? He did save the world.
I actually do like this pick.
That's a pretty good pick.
I mean, technically, Segata Sanshiro is a character that can exist in the commercial medium for Sega Saturn. You need to look him up. If you've never seen
Sega Saturn was a hell of a platform. Yep.
Oh, fire console. He kicked a home run. He kicked a baseball for a home run.
Yeah.
Rock reminder on that.
Oh, and John, yes, you can choose Yoda for this category because he's of the magic elemental type. That's how we had to. I had this conversation with Derek on the phone yesterday. Yeah. We were talking about what the Force falls under, and we went with under the magic elemental type of powers. So yes, it works there.
Yeah, choose Yoda if you want to die at the hands of Matilda.
Matilda versus Yoda, the battle we never knew we wanted.
Yep.
Actually, that would be fun. That would be fun to watch.
Okay, I gotta pull it together for this last category because we got our mortals now. Final category, mortals. I wanted to pick a strong soldier that, I mean, I feel like if you have to go with a mortal, obviously they don't have special powers, so they just have to be savvy in whatever role you put them in. So I had to go with Sarah Connor because I feel like she is a really strong soldier in this category, and I feel like that's the type of person I would want for my mortal on my team, aside from myself. So I had to go with Sarah Connor. I feel like that's my clutch pick.
I'll be honest,
specialist, guerrilla warfare.
I'm intimidated by your all-ladies squad.
It's pretty intimidating, right?
It is. I would never approach them at a bar or restaurant.
That sounds like how my life is every day. When outside of quarantine, no one approaches me at a bar. I walk into a bar like I have all of these people behind me. Don't talk to me.
Terminator Dark Fate. I think she ended up being like a Terminator hunter or something like that. Yeah. I mean, a huntress. Yeah. No, Sarah Connor's a great pick.
She's so resilient. She is so resilient.
Ooh. I love this one that Fredley's throwing up here. Ripley. Love that pick.
Ooh, I like that Ripley pick.
That's good. Kyle with John Wick. John Wick is a solid pick as well. There's a couple people that said John Wick. Corey Ashburn saying John Wick as well. Dumpel saying Jason Bourne. I love Jason Bourne as a pick too, but I mean, we can have a separate debate on the John Wick or Jason Bourne.
I would take Bourne over Wick.
Would you really?
I would.
I don't know. When they killed John Wick's dog, though.
Oh, it was set off, brother. That was a chain of events.
They killed Bourne's girlfriend. They killed her.
Dog is more impactful. Kidding.
Wow. You have a fiance in the room. You have a fiance in the room.
I'm kidding. I just wanted to see the reaction. So sorry. My bad.
Right. Well,
you do it like that. Tate, that's pretty dark. Just kidding.
Okay. Who's your mortal pick?
So you mentioned it in words that I probably will use a little bit differently, but oftentimes humans are overlooked when compared to Sith Lords, indestructible killing machines, and last surviving aliens that have limitless power. So what you really need is someone who can earn the respect of their superhero counterparts. So how about a man that was born a bastard? Nobly joined the ancient order of the Night's Watch to serve the realm. Later, he was elected as the 998th Lord Commander of the Night's Watch. Then he made allies of wildlings and Northmen, led the fight against the White Walkers, and was crowned king in the north by his people, the one true king of Westeros and the rightful heir to the Iron Throne, Jon Snow.
That is the worst pick, Tate.
Why is that? He's human.
He is terrible he's too instinctual, number one.
Okay.
There's he doesn't have a tactful vessel in his brain.
I am not asking him to lead this group. I'm asking him to be a brave soldier that can earn the respect of his contemporaries, that being of which
Fair.
Superman. I'm not asking him to make tactical decisions. Okay. I'm asking him to be a soldier.
Okay.
And his bravery and honor are unrivaled and unmatched.
But here's my problem with your pick. He's in a world that is magic and elemental.
But he has no magic or elemental power.
But I can also say other people are throwing in Nick Fury here. You can't use Nick Fury in this pick because he's part of the MCU. You can't use Han Solo because he's part of the Star Wars universe, and that's elemental. So you got to go with an average person that's like in the now. You got to go with an in the now or a historical character, which I totally thought you were going to go Braveheart.
Jon Snow. I think Jon Snow, I mean, would I have picked it? Most certainly not. But I feel like it's a valuable pick. He has shown that he is resilient as the day is long and as the quarantine is long. So he's a guy that will definitely go to bat for you, and he can wield a sword. So what else are you really looking for but some toughness and grit out of your human? I'm with it. I like it.
Can we agree that he is a human, though, Buck? That he is a human that can die. He has no elemental. No, he has
kind
no
of does though, right? Because he can communicate with the dire wolves.
He in the book.
Is he a warg?
We're talking the Game of Thrones medium, though, where he showed.
He's a warg in the book.
He showed no warg powers in the Game of Thrones universe, though.
I think you got to pick a different pick.
We're not going books. We're going cinematic, which is TV shows that is allowed. And just because the TV show has magic elements does not disqualify a human pick, which Jon Snow is human.
No, I'll give you Jon Snow is definitely human, and it's not disqualified, Sam.
I think it's disqualified.
Let him get his Game of Thrones, whatever it is he has.
All right. No. If you're going to disqualify me,
I'm disqualifying.
All right, then fine.
You guys kicked my ass for the fact that I wasn't allowed dragons if I picked Daenerys.
So you just got disqualified, Tate. What's your pick?
It's fine. You can go ahead and disqualify the rightful heir to the Iron Throne. That's fine. I'm pissed off about it, but guess what? Now I pick William Wallace. And guess what? To every medium, that man is human. And he died human.
That's a good pick.
He died for his country.
He's also a fable.
Oh, you think he's just a fable? You think he's just a myth? A legend?
No, he's real.
They say he's 7 feet tall.
William Wallace was 7 feet tall. Yes, I've heard. Kills men by the hundreds.
No, William Wallace.
If he were here, he'd consume the English and your teams with fireballs from his ass and bolts of lightning from his ass. I am William Wallace.
It's my island.
It's my island. My pick is William Wallace. It's my ass.
That's allowed. That's allowed.
Jon Snow.
That's allowed. And, I got some people that agree with me. I agree with Sam. Thank you. Appreciate it, guys.
I like Kyle with Carol Baskins. I mean, if you want somebody to just chop them up.
Yeah, that's a great mortal pick.
Yeah, if you got a few tigers running around your battleground, she's good to go. Put her on your squad.
There's a lot of great picks in here. Dominic Toretto. I don't mind that pick, Victor. I don't mind that pick.
You can't bring a car, so no.
Why can't he bring his car?
Dom is like 5'4" in real life.
Serious.
I mean, I'm being
honest. What about this? What about Rambo or Chuck Norris? Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris is what rolled himself, or
I know. Wait,
the myth of Chuck Norris is different.
The myth of Chuck Norris is elemental, magical, but he is a man. He's still a man.
Kinda. Some say he's a god.
What's your favorite Chuck Norris, saying that you ever heard?
I have no idea what he says. I just watch him.
Not saying his myth.
No,
story.
Yeah.
That he could drink more beers than me.
Because that one's not true.
Exactly. That's the one thing I control.
You've ever seen the movie Lone Wolf McQuade? We got to talk about this because I think he could be an OP human character because what he did defies all logic because he was buried alive in a truck and literally dirt on top of the truck. They dug a grave for him and he revived himself from being knocked out with a beer shower and drove the truck out of the earth.
Yeah.
That's pretty OP.
I don't know, because I almost put John McClane in here for my pick. Because I freaking love John McClane. But also through that whole movie series, he goes from being a guy that was at a party he shouldn't have been at to the last one where he ends up, withstanding nuclear elements. So you can have the argument both ways. I think that still, though, he's a man. And if I had put other men on my team, I would have put him. But I wanted all ladies on my team.
I will conclude this with my pick for my human. When I think about the human pick, I think about a couple of different things. Number one, you need to be able to take direction. Okay, so I have Alfred calling the shots from the booth. I need somebody that will execute on command. I also need somebody, number two, we're on to point two, who's built like a brick shithouse. There is no better person in all of cinematic history than Spike from Little Giants. Think about Spike as Spike is now a 35-year-old man, brawny as all hell, jacked, but he still just doesn't even think for himself at all. He's only thinking about whatever task his father lays out. So I would probably need to have like a parlay into having his father there to like shout the commands in case Alfred's different commands didn't really get through to him. That's okay. Like we'll play that off. He's not fighting in the war, but if you have Spike, this is a 13-year-old kid that could put an entire refrigerator on his back and transport it. You're saying that this guy is now 35 years old, full brawn, full muscle, just absolutely terrorizing the battlefield? It's Spike, man. And everybody that picked anybody different than Spike from Little Giants has absolutely zero ground that they're standing on, because Spike from Little Giants will spear you into oblivion. He has dragged many 13-year-old souls across landscapes of football fields. And you want to talk about a battlefield? He will drag you down. He will make you feel inept and completely unable to cope with the force that is Spike from Little Giants. And that's the team that's going to win this entire thing, because I got Alfred calling the shots, Kirby eating all the people, Matilda just blasting shit at you nonstop 24/7. I mean, this is a joke. This entire list is a joke because y'all took it serious. My thing is, this is the best list, and everybody here agrees. I know they do.
A lot of people would agree.
You got one vote from Victor, who just says Buckey wins, no debate.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, I have
that.
thought this thing out. Spike from Little Giants will crush y'all on the battlefield.
You gotta answer Tyler's question here. I can't ask it.
Tyler, I don't think he writes anything.
I write nothing. This is all right from the dome.
I had to write a script. Buckey just shoots from the hip on Spike from Little Giants for 2 minutes.
I mean, if you don't go Spike and you think about the time that's elapsed between when the film was released and now, he's just become an absolute menace of a man.
So let's go ahead and recap. Sam, I know you've been writing them down the whole time. If you want to go ahead and run them down, let's do it. But I mean, just imagine some of these matchups. Just imagine.
Okay, guys, picture this. In the Marvel universe, in my corner, you've got Captain Marvel. In Tate's corner, you've got Deadpool. And in Buck's corner, you've got Krog.
Korg.
I wrote it wrong. I was laughing too hard. Korg. Oh, my God. I mean, that's already quite the matchup if you have those three in a triangle. And then in my corner on the DC side, you've got Wonder Woman. With Tate, you've got Superman. And with Bucks, you've got Alfred Pennyworth.
Yeah, the old quarterback back there slinging dimes to his wide receivers, man. That's all I got.
And then from the video game side, I can't even get through it. I'm dying.
I knew you'd pee your pants eventually.
Oh my gosh.
This one is actually really close.
Yeah, this one I think is closer, but it's a slight edge to Bucks here. I've got Samus. Tate's got Goku. And Bucks has Kirby.
Yeah, Kirby's just messing y'all up. Totally eating y'all.
Dude, so Kirby's a force, I'm telling you.
He is a force. He's a force to be reckoned with. On the Magic side, I've got Hermione on my team. Tate's got Darth Vader. Bucks has Matilda.
You know, Matilda and Darth Vader have similar powers.
They do. You're gonna let it come.
I do feel like Matilda just crushes Vader one-on-one. She's had all this male oppression her entire life. She just is gonna murder the old Darth Vader.
Also, if they're just looking at each other and Vader goes to lift his hand, she can crush his skull inside his helmet just without moving. Just look at him. Ooh, okay. And then it happens. So that's also pretty dark. I like that. Our mortals are quite amazing as well. I've got Sarah Connor. Tate has William Wallace. And Bucks has Spike from Little Giants.
You didn't even have to say from Little Giants. Just say Spike.
Yeah, it's Spike. You rang?
That's actually well.
That's a different person that says that.
What is the center's name? What is the center's name? Damn it. Zoltan? No. That's the name.
How
of
do you say his name?
Big. The movie Big.
What's the center's name in Little Giants?
No clue. I just paid attention to Spike. I was prepping for this draft.
Can somebody who's watching the show right now Google what the name of the center of Little Giants is, please?
I think it is like Zoltan or
yeah.
It's something like
Ring.
Ring.
All right, we've got some really awesome lineups.
I want you to guess what I had for lunch. Why would we do that? Get away from this. Anyway, good.
All right, Dried Ocean.
Wait, you got to include though that we are actually included in these squads.
All right, so before we go through everyone else's squads that they're posting in comments, you want to do the lineup between the three of us? Who's going to take it?
I'm going to say all the teams. So we got Sam Holt, who is joined by Captain Marvel, Wonder Woman, the Princess of Themyscira, Samus Aran. I mean, how do you replaced your pick of Daenerys Targaryen?
I made you replace your pick of Jon Snow, so it's fine.
Per mine? You did it yourself, though. Anyway, point being.
Yeah.
And then Sarah Connor or the team of Sam. Do you have a team name?
Oh, I didn't know we were coming up with team names.
Mine's Team Hang Time. So let's go to Hang Time right here, even though Deadpool has no hair. But
I'm
Deadpool is my boy.
Team Hamsteak.
Team Hamsteak.
I don't know what to call my team.
Just keep thinking on it.
Yeah.
So I've got I'm included along with Deadpool, Superman, Goku, Darth Vader, and William Wallace. My dad would be proud of the William Wallace pick. And then Team Hamsteak, Matt Bucks.
Sound off with your team.
Korg. Kirby. Matilda. Spike. And Alfred Pennyworth.
Yep. That's the team right there.
Oh my God. I can't.
I like to feel like I was Bill Belichick in 1999, just like looking at what was to come in the coming years. And to be quite honest with you, when I drafted this team, first off, Tate, Sam, y'all invited me onto the show yesterday and you sent me this idea. I really ran with it. Like I had a lot of fun constructing this list and there was a lot of thought put into it. The fact of the matter is y'all have pure disorganization, machismo just leaking out of your pores because everybody's going to be trying to outshine everybody. The one thing my team has is synergy. And it boils down to Alfred keeping it all organized. And then you have Matilda who, like, she doesn't even have to step foot on the battlefield. She's just throwing shit at y'all. Knives, daggers, bullets, whatever it takes. Matilda is going to make y'all end of days, Matilda.
You do know Deadpool can actually teleport and just jump right behind her. And he's got, I believe it's butter, and I can't believe it's not butter, as his two katanas.
Yeah, but what if Matilda plays a trick where she has multiple Matildas and he doesn't know which one to kill and he's just killing avatars at that point? You see what I'm saying?
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair. We've never seen her duplicate herself in the movie Matilda, though. So
Kyle has a great point here. Y'all forget that Spike had a gold tooth that made him even more intimidating as a 13-year-old.
Here's the funny part, Kyle. Now at 35 years old, he actually has a full grill of gold teeth. So he's even more intimidating.
Yes, all just lowers.
Yeah, just lowers with gold.
Yeah.
Are we drafting the future selves? Because mine's dead. If I'm talking about the human, William Wallace got his head chopped off at the end of Braveheart. I'm screwed. Sarah Connor's aged a little bit.
This has been fun.
She's still
this has been a lot of fun.
I'm going to call my team Mean Machine. Just going to do a longest yard throwback.
I was going to call them the Spice Girls.
Spice Girls? Ooh, that's kind of fun too.
Yeah.
I'll do Spice Girls. That's good. I like that.
Are you going to steal the uniforms for the Atlanta Falcons, kind of like they did from the Mean Machine?
That was so good.
They did do
that.
They
totally stole it.
They swiped that shit so bad, man.
All right, let me just throw up some of the teams that everyone else put together because there's some good ones in here. Dried Ocean, has Iron Man, Beast Boy, He-Man, Zeus, and Liam Neeson. I like the Liam Neeson pick a lot.
Just Liam Neeson. Not
Just
even
Liam
Neeson.
Yeah, no, exactly.
All of his characters. Liam Neeson.
Does anyone know what his character's name is in Taken? It's just Liam Neeson, right?
Yeah, that's his name. That's just his name in the movie. Absolutely.
Shit, what is his name in that movie? No one knows.
Nobody knows.
Kyle also saying Hermione doesn't stand a chance against Matilda.
So true.
Oh my gosh, I'm scared for her. It'll be all right though. Tyler saying his team is Captain Marvel, the Flash, Master Chief, the Avatar.
Halo? Yeah, Master Chief. I'll actually. That's a quality pick. I mean, Kirby would just swallow his ass, but besides that,
I would like to see Spike go toe-to-toe with his mortal in Negan. That's a pretty good one.
That's good.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good pick.
Negan.
Oh my gosh. This has been so much fun. I'm dying. But a lot of people are agreeing that Kirby's the MVP, and you stole the draft with that.
I think we may have to make this a weekly thing where we draft a fantasy lineup that's completely not related to fantasy football.
Yeah. I mean, other picks that were great. Kyle with Steven Seagal as any of his characters. Also, Jean-Claude Van Damme. I mean, that's a great fight right there. Thanks, Corey, for that one.
I can't believe we haven't brought up Arnie yet. Not one Arnold Schwarzenegger.
No Arnold.
Shout out to Arnie. I want to bring up for a human character. Again, he has human elements. Conan the Barbarian. He is somebody I considered.
Sure. And then
sure. Shut up, Dave.
I like Corey's lineup: Thor, Flash, Naruto. Is that what I say right? Naruto, Hermione, and Keanu Reeves. Just Keanu Reeves.
Not Neo. No actual movie character. Just Keanu.
Yeah. Well, you couldn't use Neo for that character because he's not just a mortal man. He's in the Matrix. He's elemental. So
Sam, are you going to compile this on?
I will compile this into a post, and I want everyone to go on to Twitter next and vote for who has the best team. It's going to be close. Team
Hamsteak.
Team Hamsteak.
Team Hang Time.
Team Hang Time and Team Spice Girls. So this has been super fun. I'm glad that we did this. This is awesome. A good one too. Tyler's got Ted Theodore Logan. He's got Victor Jays has Kindergarten Cop.
It's not Puma.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Love Kindergarten Cop.
So good.
Thank you all for having me. This was a lot of fun.
Absolutely. This was great. I mean, we're all stuck inside too long. This one's so good. I got to read it. Victor J is saying, "Who is your daddy and what does he do?"
Bucky, can you do a good Arnie?
Who is your daddy? And what does he do? That was more of like an Italian.
Yeah,
that was Italian Arnold. I like it.
That sounds like it has some De Niro in it.
What? That was weird.
Who's your daddy and what does he do?
Derek is already throwing in the vote, saying Team Hamsteak is number 1, Spice Girls number 2, and Team Hang Time is last.
Damn, I no love for another Derek there, Stolp.
Paul Miller, you lack discipline. Oh, and Liam Neeson's name is Brian in Taken. Thanks, guys.
Who cares?
I like it better as Liam Neeson.
Yeah, it's just Liam Neeson.
Let me get Liam Neeson from the Liam Neeson.
In the cast roll credits, everybody else has a character name and then their real name. It just says Liam Neeson.
Yeah, just. All right, we'll go ahead and wrap it up, guys. Bucks, where can people find you so they can @you with your amazing lineup?
So I host a soccer podcast specifically focused on Tottenham Hotspur. That's @TT Podcoys. Give us a follow if you'd be so kind. Thank you all for having me again. This has been a lot of fun.
Absolutely. And Derek, where can everyone find you?
Oh, you know it. Dtater4.
On all forms of social media, that's where you can find Derek and myself. You can find me @Samantha R. Holt on Twitter and on Instagram @Sam_awesome. Guys, do me a favor and hit subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss another episode of the Fantasy Debate. Have a wonderful rest of your Saturday, guys, and please send us those lineups for your squads. Have a good one.